everybody, it's Gina Mizell here with Danny Moran. It is Wednesday at Oregon State practice. Of course, the Beavers traveling to Michigan this weekend for a huge game in the Big House, and it was an offensive availability day. So of course that meant we were going to talk about quarterbacks. And obviously Seth Collins has been officially named the starter, at least moving forward. It sounds like Marcus McMaryion still might get time. Gary Anderson didn't rule it out on Monday. Dave Baldwin did not rule it out today. But Seth Collins doesn't seem fazed by entering such a hostile or historic environment, which is not too surprising given what we know about Seth Collins now.
No, he's a very confident guy, and particularly after his performance to win the starting job in week 1, that would only add to that confidence, you would think. Dave Baldwin did say Marcus McMaryion's going to play, but he didn't specify when that's going to come. So I mean, clearly it looks like Collins is going to get the majority of the reps. He is the clear starter. I think the thing that the coaching staff now wants to see, in addition to him, continuing to develop as a passer, is sliding. That came up a lot today. Dave Baldwin said basically, I don't really like to see him do a lot of that.
Doesn't like the hurdle either.
Doesn't like the hurdle, yeah. So he's one of the few people in favor of Oregon State that's not a fan of that hurdle. What stood out to you when it came to talking about the quarterbacks?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to Marcus McMaryion, and obviously not the most fun conversation to have with a reporter when you've, basically lost a starting job, but he still has a good head on his shoulders as far as, saying, hey, I'm going to prepare just like I'm the starter. I know coaches are behind me, and he also knows that there's a great chance that he's going to get in the game. So he's a pretty mature guy for a redshirt freshman, so I think he's handling it about as well as, he can in this type of situation.
Yeah, I think now going forward to the Michigan game, one of the things that the offense will have to adjust is, I think they had 5 holding penalties. That's what the coaching staff alluded to. That's a unit that had a lot of consistency, people coming back, even though they're reintegrating Isaac Seumalo. So going up against a bigger, more physical, that's the word of the week, defensive line from Michigan, how is the offensive line going to be able to protect Seth Collins and also on big plays not fall into those holding penalties again?
Yeah, I asked Dave Baldwin, I think I used the phrase like, yeah, the line had a couple holding penalties early, and he kind of laughed at me and said 5 is way too many and it's not a couple. So he actually said he's glad that those were called because they were holding penalties. Those guys can't get their hands outside, they've got to stay inside, and he said that they've done better this week in practice, and obviously that's been a huge focus. And yeah, that's going to be key, whether they're protecting Seth Collins, trying to open holes for these running backs, and trying to just get this offense rolling. And he pointed to that 16-play drive to start the second half as an example of what this offense can do, and so they're going to try to do that at the beginning of the game, not at the beginning of the second half on Saturday. Yeah,
I think kind of going along with that, how they responded to adversity, that's what Gary Anderson, going back to media days, has said, given that it's such a new team, when things are not going well, how are they going to respond? But this is kind of the first instance where it's a different atmosphere. It's been talked about all week, playing in Michigan at the Big House on Jim Harbaugh's home debut. It's finally going to happen. If they go down early, what's going to be the response there? I think that's what a lot of the coaches are going to see.
Well, we will be in Ann Arbor on Friday. There is no availability following Thursday's practice because the team is leaving a day early. So that's all that you'll get from us from practice as far as video is concerned. But of course, we have tons of stories coming up between now and then, and maybe we'll be Snapchatting or periscoping or twittering from Ann Arbor all day Friday. So keep it with us. Follow us on Twitter, follow on OregonLive.com, follow in the Oregonian each day. So for Danny Moran, I'm Gina Mizell. We will talk to you in Ann Arbor most likely, so catch us then.